Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video. This is another one in the vlog series that I do through the Memphis Songwriters Association, all about songwriting, breaking it down, what has worked, whether a song has been a hit, meaning it charted in the top 20 on the Billboard charts or higher, 20 or higher, or not, because some songs are hits, they're popular, even if they didn't quite crack that top 20. So I talk about those songs and what makes them work, what has made them work throughout the years, all of that good stuff. Now, we're still going to talk about songwriting through this vlog and blog, but we're going to shift gears a little bit and do a little bit of a grammar lesson, talking about ways to paint a picture within your song. Now, in this particular vlog and blog, we're going to chat about metaphors. As a grammar nerd, I'd probably roast you for not knowing the difference between a metaphor and a simile. But when discussing music, I tend to use them pretty interchangeably. Though I'll only be discussing metaphors in this blog and this vlog, there are two different ways to use metaphors and similes within your songs. Number one, your metaphor or simile is used in the title of your song or the hook. Your metaphor or simile is used in the lyrics of your song, but isn't necessarily the hook or the title. In researching this blog and vlog, there were many songs that mix both metaphors and similes within the lyrics. So to make things easier, we're going to be focused exclusively on the songs that use them in the title or the hook. So I know you're on the edge of your seat thinking, well, Minnesota Mike, what's the difference between a metaphor and a simile? And I'm really glad you asked. I always say there's nothing like a good metaphor, because that's a simile. Similes use the word like or as. Think of the word similar. Metaphors, although not meant to be taken literally, assert that you are what you're comparing yourself to. Though not a simile or a metaphor, think about the difference between telling your significant other, it's like you don't even care, versus telling them you don't even care. The second one is a lot more powerful. And that's not to say that similes aren't powerful too, but it's definitely something to consider when you're writing. So the hook as a metaphor, let's talk about this. We're going to talk about first the song Tourniquet by Jeremy Messersmith, who, like me, is from the great state of Minnesota. This is a song off of his 2014 album called Heart Murmurs, which is just an absolutely phenomenal album. And this is one of my favorite songs of his. So this particular song is all about serving as protection for somebody when they're down and out and when nobody else will. Interestingly, that's kind of the overarching theme, but by design, this song wasn't meant to overdo it with the medical gauze imagery. I had the pleasure of taking a songwriting lesson from Jeremy in 2014, and I asked him how he was able to write such a powerful song while not overdoing it with references to a tourniquet. And he told me that the I will be there in an ambulance line in the last verse made him feel like he was maybe pushing the metaphor a little bit too far. Like if he had done one more, he told me that, it would have been a little bit too much. But what makes it work is all the other ways that he could serve as a tourniquet. So by mixing metaphors, when your tears run down, I will lasso you a thundercloud. He's able to say that there are many ways to keep this person's wounds from getting infected besides just bandaging them up. So melodically, it's a really interesting song. The main hook, I'll be your tourniquet, and that's the main hook. But when I hear the phrase "I'll be" in a song, it immediately makes me think of Edwin McCain's song of the same name, whose melody is a lot slower. But this particular song has a driving melody which shows that the narrator is determined to make this person feel better, no matter the cost. Structurally, this song follows a verse pre-chorus, chorus, verse pre-chorus, chorus format. A bridge easily could have gone in this song, but as Mr. Messersmith told me, he didn't want to overdo it with the imagery of the tourniquet. So just sticking with what he had seemed like the wise choice. It should also be noted that being someone's tourniquet is a noble deed, but something that you do for the person that you care about without even thinking twice. So the simplicity of the structure without that bridge or a solo or anything like that, although there might be a little bit of an instrumental in there, that might be his intentional way of saying, I'll do this for you, and I'm not bragging about it. So there's not a whole lot that's necessary in the song when you're doing that noble of a deed. So that, like I said, is an example of a metaphor in a song, a very powerful one at that. That's Tourniquet by Jeremy Messersmith. Like I said, from the great state of Minnesota, not that I'm biased at all. In fact, you can have a listen for yourself. It's embedded in this particular video, and so you can check that out for sure. And let me know what you think. But like I said, it's one of my favorite examples of a metaphor being used in a song. We'll look at some more in subsequent videos, but I'll leave you there for now. I am Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much.